This is going to be a rant video. There's one thing I can't stand. And let me give you an example of one thing I can't stand. It's whenever grown adults that are supposed to be your parents, they treat you as if everything you do is wrong. And it's never the wrong thing to do until you do it. They can do it all they want, but it's not wrong, apparently. But as soon as I do it, I am condemned for it. Or I'm put in a position where I have to listen to them bicker back and forth about how what I am doing is wrong. It's always happened. It happens all the time. No matter what I do. You know, they can say that they can do it. You know, they do it sometimes, and it's like, that's what we're meant to do. That's what we're supposed to do. But if I do the exact same thing, it's wrong. The most prime example, the only example I really have, is with the dogs. I don't like it when they bark. You know, it's annoying. Especially if they bark at everything. There could be a car passing and they start barking at it. And it's not just like a little bark here and there. It's like constant barking. And they won't stop for at least 10 minutes. Well, I brought it to their attention that needs to stop. It needs to stop. Or that it needs to gradually get better, you know, where they don't have to bark at everything. And they've agreed. They've agreed that is something that needs to be done. So whenever I try and do things to help them stop barking, I'm always condemned for it. You know, whenever they go outside, like tonight, hence the reason this video is being made. They go outside, it's 10:30 at night. And there's our neighbors next door, you know, they have family or something over and they're having a campfire out back. Well, the last couple times they've been outside, it's just a bark. And of course, they don't really notice it because they're on the other side of the house. My room is near the end of the house where they are at, and they're barking, and I hear every bit of it. So whenever I go outside and I say, hey, you guys knock that shit off, and I say, come on, you know, if they really needed to pee or use the bathroom, they would have stayed out there. They would have stopped barking. But they came running up to the door. And what happens? I get yelled at. Because apparently I'm causing these dogs not to use the bathroom. I'm not making them do anything. You know, if they didn't want to come in, they didn't have to. But if they kept barking, then there's a reason that I'm telling them to come in, because if they're not peeing, they're barking. And if they're barking, they're not using the bathroom. And there's been times that, you know, I just give up and I let them bark, and then, you know, Mom or Steve tell them to come in and stop barking. I guess it's fine whenever they do it. But if I do it, heaven forbid, you know, there's something wrong with me. And then whenever I get frustrated about it and I get upset and I, you know, scream and yell, apparently there's something wrong with me. You know, apparently that I'm being, you know, I gotta stop. You know, why do I have to stop? There's a reason for the rage that I have. There's a reason for me to yell. Whenever somebody says that it's okay to do something, but whenever you do it, it's wrong, that gets to a person after a while. You know, that gets to somebody. You know, that's the reason for most of our arguments, for the arguments that me and my folks have. Because they say one thing and then they do exactly the opposite. And I have to endure that. Well, I don't have to, but I do. Because I think maybe one day they'll stop doing it. I hope. I may seem really calm right now, but I am seriously on the verge of losing my shit. Literally. I have so much anger and frustration built up. I don't even know what to do with it anymore. I'm to the point where I'm just as calm as a as the wind. And that's not a good thing, is it? I show you guys, whenever I make vlogs and stuff like that, I try not to show you too much anger, and I try not to express too much of my feelings and what's been going on and frustrations and things of that nature, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to keep it contained, It's hard to realize that, kids in school go through bullying all the time. And, it's hard to say that it kind of feels like that, It feels like I'm in high school again, being bullied. Is that sad? I mean, that I have a mother and a stepfather that made me feel like that I'm unwanted and that I'm a piece of shit and that I'm not worth anything, that everything I do is wrong. That's not a good situation to be in, and if you try and bring it to their attention, it's just like I'm being an asshole, or I'm being stupid, or I'm just not thinking straight, There's always been plenty of times where things in my life aren't going the way that I wish they were, and there were things that I was doing that wasn't right, and anytime somebody gives me advice, I always follow it. I don't look at it as I'm fine and you're wrong. I take it for what it is. I try it out. If there's something wrong, then I change it. I've made tons of changes in my life, and I'm happy to say that if it wasn't for the changes that I made, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. But whenever you try and help somebody else that's helped you in the same way, they don't take that advice as, a reason to change. They don't take it for face value. They think that you're the person that needs to change. There's something about you that needs to change instead of the opposite. And this is what I have to deal with every day. There's just little things that I have to just kind of throw away in my subconscious and let it reside there for a long time. It's hard. It really is. Because I want something better for my life. I don't want to sit here in a room of my parents' house and be trapped. That's what I feel like. I feel trapped right now because I have nothing I can do. There's nowhere I can go. Of course, I could run away if I wanted to, but that's not the choice of a grown adult. That's the choice of a man or a boy. That's the choice of somebody who doesn't care. And eventually I do want to get away from here, but I want to do it on a level that is better for me, like whenever I'm more stable, whenever I'm able to do that without having to make any drastic changes. But these are the things that I have to deal with every day, and I have to kind of act like that nothing's wrong. So I guess you could say my life is basically fake right now because I am not the person that I want to be. I have to act every day, and it hurts. Literally. There's so much stress. There's a lot of stress in it, and I don't know. It's just I have no way of expressing and letting go, I guess, because it's hard to let go of something or to let something pass whenever you're surrounded by it every day. I was happy before all this. I had my own place. Yeah, I was with a woman that, we had arguments. I'm not gonna lie. Every relationship has its bad points, but I had my own place. I had no stress. The only stress I had was with my own family, which wasn't really much. But I still had a family. I had a house. I had a home. I had an amazing girlfriend at the time, and I had responsibilities. I had my own life. I was happy. But, things happen for a reason, so I ended up back here at home, or at my parents', whatever you want to call it. And then after that, it's like everything changed. I was different. And things around here weren't different. They were the same as before. it wasn't a house. It wasn't a home. It was a house with unhappiness. That's all I see every day. You know, yeah, there can be happiness over here and there, but I mean, it's not really a home of happiness. It's more like a home of every so oftenness. You know, I could be as happy as can be. I've said this to them. I was like, I can be as happy as I want to be, but it's kind of hard to be happy whenever you're around sadness and anger and frustrations all the time. You know, that happiness can fade away. There's really nothing I can do about it right now, except keep talking. But this is what has been going on. This is how I feel pretty much every day. The only time I don't is whenever they're not here. I hate it. You know, some people can say that they hate their lives, but I'm actually saying it. I hate my life. The only thing I can do is just keep focusing on the things that I have to change about it in order to make it better. But in the meantime, the happiness facade will keep showing itself, and it's nothing more than that, a facade.